going to look at flying longer legs and employ what we now know about wind drift and dead reckoning. We're over New Zealand's North Island, just coming up to Hamilton, the city that you can see up ahead. Please maintain 2,400 feet and 100 knots with high accuracy, as this will give us the best chance to keep our planned route and timings. Take us to Hamilton Lake and we will begin our route to Pukekohe. Once we get to the lake, we'll be making a left turn towards our first waypoint, Narawahia. We use the forecast wind of 300 at 15 to compile the navlog. Along with the route map, the navlog can be found in the manual. I'll be your co-pilot, giving you headings and ETEs as we go. Remember that you can use the external camera if you wish to get a better view of the landscape. Here we are at Hamilton Lake. Turn heading 299. Time. This leg will be for 9 minutes. Tune. We are remaining beneath the Hamilton Control Area, CTA, so we can keep the radios set as they are. I'll keep an eye on the heading indicator and compass and let you know if they need realigning. Temp. Engine instruments for temperature and pressure, T's and P's, are all in the green. Tank. Fuel is balanced between the left and right tanks, and the remaining quantity is as expected. Remember that heading, speed and altitude control are all important for navigation, especially now that our waypoints are becoming farther apart. Narawahia is a town up ahead along the Waikato River, just at the base of the tree-covered ridgeline. We're starting to be able to pick out Narrawahia now. Carry on until we reach the town, which was once considered as a potential capital of New Zealand. We're reaching the town now, so turn right to heading 343 towards our next waypoint, Lake Waikeri. Time. Estimated time en route ETE to Lake Waikeri is 8 minutes. Tune. Radios are good and correctly set. Temp. T's and P's are in the green. Tank. Fuel balanced and sufficient. For longer legs such as this, it's a good idea to have a progress check en route to catch any significant errors early enough to make corrections. We choose features along our leg that will be easy to spot and can be useful as an en route check, known as a fix. Preferably they are around the halfway point. En route fixes are very useful for gross error checks, such as large tracking or timing errors, which may indicate that the wind conditions have changed a great deal since the planning stage. We're going to use a town called Huntley, which is a little further up the Waikato, as our en route fix for this leg. Once we get there, we will compare our actual position with our planned position as drawn on the map. We'll then be able to roughly calculate if we are to the left or right of course, and by how many degrees. We use the drift lines on the map to estimate how many degrees our actual track differs from our planned route. Once we know this figure, we apply double the error as a heading correction. For example, if we estimate that we are 5 degrees left of our planned course, turning 5 degrees to the right will stop our error from getting any larger, as we will now be paralleling the route. Applying an additional 5 degrees to the right will begin to take us back onto our plotted route. This is another reason to be accurate with your heading control, as several deviations will make errors more difficult to assess and correct. We want to remain on heading 343 to Lake Waikeri. We're approaching Huntley, our en route fix. You can see the Waikato River passing through and the power station on the west side of the river. We'll check our current position with our intended route and see if any adjustments need to be made. Huntley is to the left as expected, so we look to be on course, so no heading adjustments are required. We're coming up to the southern edge of Lake Waikere now. We're expecting our planned heading and wind corrections to take us to the strip of land that reaches out into the middle of the lake. Consider how well you were holding your heading on the way here, and if any drift corrections brought you to the right place. Next up is the town of Pukekohe. Turn heading 294. This leg's ETE is 12 minutes. No change to the radios. Check that the heading indicator is still aligned with the compass. T's and P's are in the green. Fuel is balanced and sufficient. This leg is 12 minutes, so we will again use an en route fix. This time we'll use Hampton Downs racetrack, which we expect to pass just to the right side of. As we reach our en route fix, we'll again check our tracking and make a wind correction if needed. Try to keep us on exactly heading 294. can see the racetrack at Hampton Downs clearly now, so we can compare our position with our planned track and make any adjustments so that we stay on course towards Pukekohe. The racetrack should be just off our left wing, so we're a little left of course. Make a right turn of about 5 degrees. We're just passing by Merry Merry Drag Strip and Dirt Oval. Next we cross over the Waikato River. You can get another good estimate of lateral position by checking that you cross the river at the right spot. We're coming up on Pukekohe now. You should be able to see the white oval-shaped racecourse on the near side of the town. We'll aim for the centre of the racecourse. Here we are overhead Pukekohe. As you can see, with a little extra brain power, we can use a much more sophisticated and reliable method of navigation, allowing longer and more direct legs to our destination, coupled with en route fixes to check our progress. So far we've been flying always outside of controlled airspace, so next we'll take a look at using the radios and communicating with ATC.